Good?
Yeah.
Excellent.
My name's Aaron.
How are you, Aaron?
I'm good. I wanted to say thank you to you. I saw Clerks 23 years ago when I was 18. And I was working in a comic book store in the back of the video store at a shop called Harvard Comics. I don't know enough. And that movie really changed my life and my world perspective at that point.
Changed my life, too.
I figured out what kind of artist I was going to be.
What kind of artist did you want to be based on that?
I'm a graphic designer and a cartoonist.
Fucking
Today,
A. Why that movie?
Well, at the time when I was working in the comic book store, when I saw it was a conversation of Star Wars exchange. And funny in itself, but what got to me or what hit me was I know those people. They're the same kind of people I talk to, the same kind of people I have conversations, debate with. And it was the first time ever seeing like my people, the geek culture, the kind of people that are real, that wasn't like we're going to the nerds kind of stuff.
People were like,
Exactly.
with pocket protectors, with busted glasses.
You showed me for the first time that me and my friends and my world was interesting.
Yeah. It fucking means the world. I go to movies all the time and come out and be like, that was funny, man, but how come they don't talk about the shit we talk about? Why don't they make jokes like the jokes we make? Like, wouldn't it be great if one of these movies, all they made jokes about was pussy and Star Wars? And every movie I come out after, I'd say that every comedy, and my friends would be like, just give it up, dude. You always say the same shit. And I came out of one, the original Later Slacker, and I felt the same fucking way. I was talking to Vinny, my friend Vinny, and just spilling the same shit, going like, that was funny, man, but did you see that audience? Like, the guy I was sitting next to was like slapping his knee. He thought the movie was knee-slappingly funny. Like, literally slapping his fucking knee. I was like, this guy's a fucking metaphor right here. I was like, it's so, like, amazing. Like, the guy, like, was laughing, but, like, I found it amusing. I wasn't laughing that hard. I was like, why don't they tell jokes like the kind of shit we talk about and stuff? I had this brain snap. I was coming across let me see, I came out of the Holland Tunnel right before I paid the toll on the Jersey Turnpike. And I was driving the car, waiting for the passengers. And I was in the middle of this conversation with her. I had a brain snap. Changed my life. I had this thought. It's crazy. It's like hearing a voice, but not in a crazy way, but hearing the voice of logic. Separate from your own. And I said, Kevin, nobody is ever going to make a movie about the shit you and your friends find funny. Nobody knows who the fuck you and your friends are. And even if they did, why would they sing your song, man? They got to sing their own song. If you want to see a movie where people sit around and talk about fucking pussy and Star Wars, you're going to have to make that movie. And I did, and it changed my fucking life. So, put a mirror up to my world and shit. I'd seen so many movies in my life, but I never saw my corner of the world, and I felt like, I don't know, who's going to show that if not? And the shit we did can be funny. Like, I thought Jason Mewes was hysterical. Jason Mewes, essentially, the character he plays is who he was when I met him at age 16. Like, it's based on 16-year-old fucking Jay. And I'd always say to him, like, you're fucking funny, man. I wonder if anyone outside of Highlands would find you funny. Because all his humor seemed very locally themed. It's all about people we knew and where we lived. I was like, fuck, man, like, you don't sound like anybody else. Somebody should put you in a movie. And I'd say that for fucking years, and then one day when I realized that I wanted to be a filmmaker, I was like, oh my God, I'm the guy who's gonna put you in a fucking movie. And I did, and when the movie came out, nobody mentioned it. Like, none of the critics talked about Jay Silent Bob. They would reference me, like the director plays a character called Silent Bob. But they wouldn't talk about the performances. They would talk about Brian and Jeff and the two clerks and stuff, and the movie itself. But they never talked about Jay and Silent Bob, except People magazine, interestingly enough. The review said, the Jason Mewes character, ... You want to find the rock he crawled out from under and make sure there's nothing else like it out there. It's the only fucking review he ever got. He brought it to me, he goes, is this good? I was like, in my book, that's fucking stellar. Because you're one of a kind and shit like that. So, just the notion of snapshot gotten where we were? Why not? You know, same idea behind the podcast. Record a conversation because you're interested. Like, yeah, other people are interested in the show. That's why we watch TV and shit. We'll see movies. But really, we do that to pass the time. So why not pass the time telling your story? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you, it's fun to watch movies, but it's way more fun to make a movie. You know, it's fun to listen to people talk about themselves, but it's way more fun to talk about yourself. So for me, that's what Clerks was. It was like, I just want to see if I can do it. And years later, I had a similar brain snap moment with Tusk before we made that movie, because it came from a podcast that me and Scott Mosier were doing. And you can hear it, episode 259, it's called The Walrus and the Carpenter. And we come up with essentially what is the story of Tusk, like make it up on the show. And then you hear me fall in love with it in the middle of the podcast. It's rarely got a microphone on a moment of inspiration, but it happened and shit. And you hear me fall in love with the idea where I'm like, copyright, fuck everybody else, copyright Kevin Scott, this idea is mine. I fell in love with the notion of wanting to see this movie about a guy who turns another guy into a walrus. And I was like getting sad. I even said, I was like, nobody's gonna make this movie, dude. Where are all the brave filmmakers who will make this man to walrus cinema? and I had a fucking brain snap, man, because I was like, oh shit, like you used to be one of those brave filmmakers. You know, bam, it happened again. It's just like, Kevin, nobody is ever gonna make a movie about a guy who turns another guy into a walrus. Like, it's just not gonna happen. If you want to see that movie, and it fucking sounds like you do, you know the path. And so I was like, fine. And I tried making it and shit. So when I look at the movies I've made, honestly, the sequel to Clerks isn't Clerks II. The closest spiritual sequel to Clerks is Tusk. Because they were both made with the same idea. I just want to see what this would look like. I wasn't thinking about anybody else. It was just like, I just want to see this. I just want to see this little snapshot of the world. So I'm so delighted, man, that Clerks like made you go like, ooh, like it was a rallying cry for you, the way that Slacker was a rallying cry for me.
It was really even the beginning of it. That was just the start of it. For 20 years, I've been considering this idea about my world with my friends and wanting to tell that story. And then 6 years ago, I started a t-shirt company where I started making art based around the things I cared about, legalized weed, gay marriage, free rights, and taking a fun.
What's it called?
Actually, we talked about it in Phoenix 2 years ago. It's called House of Ha-Ha.
Right on, everyone hear that? Where can they go to watch it?
HouseofHaha.com.
What a great fucking name. I can watch these t-shirts.
We talked 2 years ago in Phoenix. Jordan helped set it up, and I got a bag of stuff.
Yes,
I had an opportunity to ask you, and since you brought it up, I'm going to ask you again if you're interested in House of Ha-Ha. I would love to work.
In a heartbeat, dude, absolutely. The plot of the movie requires, like when Jay and Silent Bob get to Los Angeles, they're heading to where the movie's being shot, and the movie's being shot at Jay and Silent Con, which is the Jay and Silent Bob convention, where everybody looks like Jay and Silent Bob. So we're gonna need a bunch of fucking t-shirts. So believe me, if you want in, I'll use you.
Should I walk over and hand you my card?
Of course you
That
can.
way I know we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely, man. You're right. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, I know you're doing the reboot. What is your plans for Moose Jones?
Moose Joe's right after that. I just got a financial plan that somebody sent to me for this company that these two cats are going out for our financing. It looks like it's actually going to happen. So reboot happens, then afterwards we'll do Moose Joe's. I look forward to that. For those who don't follow Moose Jaws, it's literally what it sounds like. It's Jaws, but with a moose instead of a I'm desperately trying to get kicked out of the movie business. So far, it's not working. How are you?
Fat, old, and old.
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah, I got a good looking girl, so I'm good with that.
Me too, man.